Malenia, Blade of Mikola, half-sister to Starscud Dradan, one of the children of Queen Marika and Radagon, and one of, if not the most powerful demigoddess in the lands between, and one of the most skilled to even the most skilled in the verse. I am Judge King for this new case of matter video idea and series, as I take characters from all boards of fiction and I pen them with all form of critique and reasonable judgment for their crimes. I hope you guys will enjoy this series, and let's go ahead and sit down and enjoy the analyzation and overview of Malenia, Blade of Mikola, the Severed, half-sister to Adon and rival as well.
Pulled up to a spot, she live by the park, it's getting dark. My clock on my lap, I'm just thinking smart, so she hops out. She switching this shit, this sticking shit. She got 2 minutes, if she ain't back out, then she gon' need a lift. She left her phone, so I picked it up. This hoe slow as fuck, man, miss calls, 3 of them for mom, the other 6 ain't up. I look up.
When discussing Malenia, we're going to be taking in everything about her character into play. The case of man for her defendant is not available, as her twin brother Mikola, who was born with eternal youth and even though looking like a child is like over thousands, 100,000 of years old, is unfortunately missing. We do not know where he is. He's in a cocoon with the molester. And any person that could possibly try to go and defend her, like her half older brother Radon, is suffering from mental illness or dead. And the same goes for the greater echelon of her pantheon that she is in, aka her big ass family tree. The accused is going to be getting opposition by the case of Sir Gideon's knowledge, even though we cannot get him here as he's either too busy or dead, and simply put cannot get anybody to go and voice him. The audience, aka jury in this case being you guys, can be accounted to have multiple forms of people that have suffered through Kaled, aka a thing caused by Scarlet Rot to be so fucking hellish Haiti on everybody there. And if it wasn't for Malenia's Scarlet Bloom, then Kaled would not be Detroit like shit out here. And then same time, case of different people would have suffered in battle against a great horde of her men and women, or just relentless case of matter of terror poured out for her. But besides all that, let's go ahead and understand how Malenia came to do these crimes, and at the same time understand her. Malenia, Blade of Mikola, like I said, is a daughter of Queen Marika and Radagon, who are heavily implied and pretty much just deliberately shown to be the same person. And I don't know how 2 people that are the same person could have a child for this, but through asexual or godlike saints and means, as Queen Marika and Radagon are beings higher plane than any case matter person generally lands between, we're able to go and make her and her twin brother. Her being cursed with an outer god's touch and being hostess to this outer god, the Scarlet Rot, and Mikola, the Empyrean Golden, that is born with eternal youth and will always stay in the child's body, even if he is older than the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But what she has done to be crowned with the case of being a lord to the hallowed tree as being technical royalty was a case of being a fierce warrior and goddess, being trained by a blue swordsman that I think was blind like her, as a Scarlet Rot has teared different parts of her body like her right arm, her genitalia, to the case of her legs, eyes. As is obvious, Malenia is blind, but she's able to adapt and pull some daredevil shit, even though there's no lore reason for why she has this sixth sensibility to be able to take away all matters of reality within the way that she moves without even being able to see, because this shorty cannot see, but then just has adaptive capability to add to her less than 5 senses. It's not like with Daredevil, where his 6th sense now plays a part for his 2 form of senses on a heightened sense, like seeing and smelling. But you know, it is what it is. And from there, it became a ruthless case matter of warmonger as general, random but fucking terror and eradication to people in the shots ring. And when it came down to her purpose for doing this, with mixed with Mikola being in case of her lord, as she's the blade of him and only serves him, she did this for the calling of Shattering's power, mixed at the same time in the case of defend Mikola, in case anybody would come to her kingdom and try to go ahead and run the hands. She pretty much went out and caused the smoke for a greater deal, then allowing that smoke to purate through the case of her land. So yeah, with this being said, Malenia's actions considerably are noble and reasonable, but the case and matter for the militaristic slash political stand in doing it is not reasonable, as the first count of some punishment is going to be the case of a very heavy life sentence of one for the case of war crimes, as institutional contracts mixed at the same time the American law system for war crimes, when impart the fact that if a person in a war kills innocent people, medical form of different precautionary situations, and most importantly, any person that by definition is not a voluntary or formal sense of a opposition in war would be by definition a war criminal that could serve a time of multiple life sentences. But for one is this. The proof in the pudding is this, is the fact that her Scholar Rock plume, multiple showcasings, has teared the entire country of Kaled from the inside out, and realistically in a whole bomb nuke killed multiple cases of innocent civilians and at the same time women and children that fought either in the matter of the war or later on. So her just pure power and mere fact of her people's existence would cause this great affliction of pain. So it's reasonable to presume that within this one life sentence that she caused multiple cases of war crimes. War crimes again being killing innocents, people of medical procedures, or a case of matter of people like combat medics that have a whole deliberate sign that symbolizes throughout the world not to be harmed, or people that have nothing to do with the war or are not involuntarily coming into play to be this. So it's not to the same hefty depth as Artemis Prime from the Bayverse, where he's killing multiple striking new ways of war crimes, but her involuntarily or not wanting to go ahead and cause the great case of matter of plume destruction upon Kaled from the inside and out doesn't take away the actual validity of the argument that what she did is textbook definition chaotic. But not just as well a case of war crimes, we have a case of attempting genocide, regardless or not if again it was in full purpose to pop up with this, as you can make an argument with the fact that Malenia, in the words of one of the former directors slash great case matter of a source within the case of Talk, as he is a executive producer and great head runner within different Souls games and Elder Rings story, and he's going to be a big part in the case of DLC, saying that Malenia was fatigued, meaning that in the case of matter of the fight against Radahn, aka at a later cusp of the fight within the case of the shattering, she got tired, and Radahn, respecting her as his little half sister and just simple honor, wanted to go and fight her at her best, and Malenia ain't no bitch, so she decided to go and run up regardless of being tired, meaning that Radahn fought a fatigued Malenia and they still had a draw. Now granted, it doesn't take away their scale or reasonableness, but it does mean, especially with the other case matter of wording, that the fight would have played different or simply had an actual victor instead of a draw, that she could have actually defeated Radahn without having the plume, or at least do it the way that she did. She plume, possibly not knowing the reason, but the fact that she killed, again, multi-case of innocent people, destroyed the entire country's ground of goodness, and played nothing but case matter of havoc all upon it, is a great A form of genocide, and another batch of more sentences to come, but that's just, you know, at ground level. With this, would be having to play a great deal of 20 different forms of fines mixed with case of 20 life imprisonments. So yeah, I mean, it's simply put just bad. Next we have attempted murder, arguably. So this is a two-way stretch, as you can argue, yes, she's in a war, and regardless of Mikola wanting her to go about this, as a general that has to defend her kingdom and being seen as the true overarching lord, as she does everything for Mikola because of devotion, obviously, as this is her little tentacle brother, as them being twins, and just the pure fact that she wants the best for her people, could be argued not to be simply a sense of just a voluntary premeditated form of great a murder for no reason. This is simply an act in the matter of war. So agree, disagree with this, but you can consider her attempt to kill Radahn arguably attempted murder, as from a moral and all around in the grand scope reason, Radahn does not deserve to die for what she's doing. As Radon has not shown any ill intent to Malenia at this point, has never talked with Malenia before this, arguably, except for the meeting of the demigods at Lindale when Godwin was still alive, and most importantly, has never shown any interest in gaining power besides the Elden Ring or simply to defeat Morgoth. And so, I don't see this as a justified reason to presumably kill him. And regardless of them knowing themselves as family, even though this pantheon is pretty tight-lit to where all these people know they were related in some way or another, I think from a moral objectivity, you could consider this to be ill means and objectively attempted murder. But from a war stand and political discourse, this would not be considered. So if we do count this as attempted murder, this would be in the first degree and could easily have life imprisonment or simply about 15 years if we go by the general life imprisonment sentence. But for now, from a illegitimate facto thing, I'm going to go ahead and count this off. Even if, again, from a moral and arguable objectivity, there's some reasonable account to not address this as the such. Again, effecto, not sing, you know what I'm saying, within this. So we'll cross that out for now. But this third one within the counts is definitely something that we not put off, which is just flat out terrorism. So leading a great group of niggas, aka her army, to go ahead and run fade on people is a semblance of conquer / mix of just war terror and not actual strong legitimate way of doing it. Again, as their general or commander, whatever you want to go and account her as, she has reasonable jurisdiction, especially if there was an order by Mikola to do this before getting kidnapped by the molester. She has reasoning to do this. But the thing is the fact that even if she has a reason to go about this from a war stand, what she does in the end of destruction and beyond general cordial sense of fighting is textbook definition terrorism. You cannot nuke an entire country on accident or not and then expect no formal sentiment of punishment, especially all the destruction she does to the country. I mean, she literally terraforms the shit, changed the geographical structure, changed the whole plane, changed the whole form of how it's built, and has caused so much case of matter of unfortunism upon the land and the people inside of it for no reason besides her own. And obviously she never gets a chance to showcase the compassion or empathy for these people, but all across, Malenia has never shown any sentiment of compassion or understanding for the bad that she brought. So that's why there's an argument that terrorism does come into play as textbook definition by United Nations, the United States, and just objective morality. I feel like on all cuffs is simple. You cannot do this regardless if it was for a morale or realistic stand, as we could say that for a bunch of terrorists. And I'm not calling Malenia a whole terrorist, but this would account as considerable terrorism. So yeah, 16 to 60 years in prison and fine of $50,000 is reasonable for this. This is all crimes that I could go ahead and find and investigate and accounts by all different forms. So with this being said, in conclusion, Malenia would have, like princesses, stacking altogether in conclusion of about 100 years to 130 years if you account for the case of attempted murder into play, and a fine of $105 million. But if we take away the general crime statistic rate, I would say her punishment should be serving time of this amount in Valhalla, but in specific God of War's version of Valhalla, where the accused can go ahead and repent / think about the sins that she caused, take into understanding of why possibly what she did was bad, and maybe if she would be worthy to be crowned Elden Lord or some form of goddess upon different stand, she can unravel why, even though her bad might have some semblance of purpose, be not the best support of why she did what she did. Simply put, Malenia might be justified at some accounts for why she did what she did, but it is not, by objectivity and by the law, objectively the best form of action when you're talking about trying to stop smoke from coming to your land. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is a new format of video. With this being said, and I hope you guys enjoy more of the case ideas of this type of project. With this being said, but does the accused have anything to say? Oh wait, oh, she's dead. Man, why does this tarnish keep dick riding, bro? Damn. No stunt. Bro, I swear to God, bro. I've been at this thing for 5 fucking minutes, and he keeps doing the same thing, bro. No, bro. No, bro. Piss off. Look at this dick riding. Look at this dick riding, bro. Look at this dick riding, bro. He's... No, I swear... Oh, my God. Alright, bro. No, I'm done. Fuck this game. Shut the fuck up, he...